Welcome to Detroit Comics Party, episode 40. We are here with Jessica and Dy-Min from Not Sorry Apparel. How are you guys today?
We're great.
Good.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so do you want to tell us a little bit about your clothing line? How long have you guys been doing this for?
Not long, honestly.
Not long?
No.
Couple days?
We just started yesterday.
Who are you guys?
So we were born 2 days ago, and then we just started yesterday. No, I'm kidding.
Congratulations.
Thank you. No, so we started this about a year ago, almost to the day, honestly, and launched officially with our first line in April.
Congratulations.
And since then, we've kind of modified our offering a little bit, too. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So we started off doing like a bunch of handmade in Detroit stuff. Well, not a bunch, just two shirts, a jersey and a t-shirt. And we noticed that really it's all about the designs. And I've always been kind of into just getting things that are already there, things that have been used.
Like, so the garment that you're printing on is something that's like a...
Yeah, it's all recycled.
Yeah, so this is one of the original handmade pieces that we started out with. It's a reversible basketball jersey. Cool. It's got our patch on one side, and then it's got our Killam print on the other, kind of mocking the Kellogg's logo a little bit. Yeah, and
these are like custom-made jerseys?
These are all handmade in Detroit with a local manufacturer. And yeah, like Dy-Min said, we started with that, and then people really liked the designs, but they were not necessarily trying to spend like the extra bucks just to get like the handmade thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Dy-Min had an awesome idea. Instead of just buying a bunch of the American Apparel shirts like a lot of companies do and just putting their design on it, she's like, why don't we try some upcycled stuff? So we just, kind of thrifted some pieces. Very curated though. We kind of pick through everything and pick like our favorite stuff.
Yeah, what do you look for when you're at the thrifting?
You're the expert on that.
It's weird because we don't really have like a criteria, but everything looks very curated. I would say men's department, stay in there. That's like the main guideline is go in the men's department.
For sure.
I do it by price sometimes, usually just style. Like when I see it, I just know what it could be. And I'm like, yes, you. All my kids.
Do you look for something that has like always has to have a large like open area to highlight the design, or
Not
do you
necessarily.
do something with like patterns and stuff? Like
I'll print right on top of something if I think it'll look cool.
Yeah, so we got a couple Ford shirts and we just printed right over them.
Cool.
Because we're just totally unapologetic about it, and that's kind of like speaks to our brand, So people love that stuff though too, especially here in Detroit. We've just gotten really good feedback because the city's kind of unapologetic in that way. We actually had a customer who told us she went to Seattle and met a gentleman at a bar, and he was like, oh, where are you from? And she's like, Detroit. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry about that. And she's like, I'm not. I love it, So like stuff like that. And I'm not from here, so when I moved here, I kind of heard that same thing from friends and family. Like, oh, I'm sorry you're moving there. I'm like, I'm not. I love it here. It was just such a weird thing to say to someone, like you had a child die or something. Like, I'm so sorry. And it's like, why? You've never even been here, and it's such a great place, And there's so much room to like create, and I would have never seen myself doing this stuff, in Miami where I used to live. So, yeah, I love it.
How did you end up in Detroit?
So I moved here with my fiance. He got a job up here after we graduated.
Cool.
He works for Bose.
Cool.
Yeah. So, but I love it. We had an opportunity to move a couple of other places, and we did a lot of research, and we picked Detroit purposefully.
I think Detroit is like a great playland. Like
it is.
Rent's still cheap some places. There's enough space, like you said, to like spread out and do some semblance of like art manufacturing intersection.
Exactly. Totally. And people here are really supportive. I mean, the resources we've been able to tap into in just the last year have been kind of like overwhelming. I was not expecting that at all. So, we were just finished the Tech Town program, their retail boot camp, and that was just so awesome, and we got connected through that to like a pop-up space that'll be opening pretty soon too.
Oh, cool.
So
that's great.
yeah, and we you know, we print all our stuff with our local printer, Ocelot Print Shop. So yeah, no, everyone's been really supportive, and no one kind of, you know, poops on your dreams here. They're just like, go for it. Like, tell me how I can help you. And I don't know, it's just, you don't get that in some of those other big cities, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like nobody wants to help around here. I feel like it's like, I appreciate that you have your dreams, but I have mine, and they exist simultaneously, but I don't want to help anybody, and I don't think anyone wants to help me. Or maybe that's my own bad attitude, like presupposing that.
No, I think, would you say like our experience has kind of been collaborative in nature?
Yeah, I would say it's been very organic but still deliberate.
Yeah, totally.
So cool. Yeah, and it makes a difference. And I guess just being open to help, like you said, your attitude, you know, maybe you want to adjust.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're all down for help. If you know, everyone needs help. So
yeah, no, that's true. So yeah, now we're like focused on our upcycling, and basically that just means we're creatively reusing clothes that already exist, and we add our prints and patches to them. And yeah, right now we've just got a few designs, but we're trying to kind of figure out where we go from here so that it doesn't get boring and we're not just putting out prints, you know?
Sure.
So building a collection of prints that kind of all go together and kind of not theming it like in a cheesy way, but kind of in a like thoughtful, like let's add a narrative to this kind of thing.
yeah.
So that's kind of what we're focused on for next year, to really like show it as more than just like, hey, we're screen printing on thrifted stuff. It's more of like, we're actually building a fashion collection that you can you know, add pieces, and everything's one of a kind because, you know, we're finding one of one, printing on it in different places. So yeah, it gives you that very customized feel. So yeah, so far so good. We've had really good feedback. People really like that idea, and they just really want the designs. So we can offer this stuff at a lower price point than we could the handmade stuff. And
what do you want to do in the future? Like, what are you moving into? Like, more going back into doing custom stuff, or just doing different types of prints, or is it all going to be like tops or accessories? Like, what would you like to expand into?
I would say we have a few things we want to expand on. One for sure, what Jess spoke to about the different collections.
Yeah.
We're lucky to Not Sorry, that name, like we're able to have a stance. So just kind of using that and putting it into whatever is going on, and however crazy we want to get with it, because we can and we have that opportunity. So we want to make sure we're doing that next year instead of just print. You want to, what else?
To be like relevant to whatever's going on at the
exactly.
time.
Especially after the past month, you know, like we just feel like we're gonna have a lot of content moving forward that we can
have to be really not sorry.
Yeah, totally. One thing that I think we want to start doing, and we've got a piece here that kind of represents where we're going with this, is so when people obviously get rid of things, sometimes it's because it's got stains or it's, you know, it's a little worn. So this was a crew neck that had a couple stains on the sleeves, and we're just like, well, let's just get rid of the sleeves. So we just cut the sleeves off and kind of made it into this, like, you know, tee with the rolled up raw hem on the side. And
yeah, it's cool.
yeah, you know, so that's kind of where we see is going, is just adding some, some just adding extra customizations to stuff. So like adding, you know, distressing the clothes, maybe bleaching it. I'm not sure we'll go that route, but definitely like putting holes in it and kind of cutting it up, and maybe even taking different pieces of fabric and then putting those together, you know.
Cool. So kind of like Franken-cycling.
Yeah. I kind of love that, actually. Yeah, definitely that kind of stuff. And then, you know, we might revisit doing handmade stuff once we're bringing in enough money to kind of supplement that, because it costs more to produce. But yeah, I'm really excited for kind of where we're headed with that. And then we really want to get into socks and pins. We would make that stuff. So if you guys know anyone who makes socks in Detroit, we are looking.
I've looked into the pins thing, but I don't know about a socker person.
Yeah, I found a couple. Yeah, a sockstress.
We met somebody the other day who had this line of pins that were like the like gold metal, but with like the lacquer inside, and they were like super bright. They would be like, they were like, you know, for my things, I just want a little 1-inch punk rock button, but these were like beautiful statement pins that would be nice lapel pieces.
Yeah, those are
So-
really popular right now.
Yeah, totally.
And she was selling them for next to nothing. So
Really?
the cost of production must be low. It
Yeah.
must be accessible.
I think it's
Right.
doable.
Totally. No,
Yeah.
we've met
Yeah.
quite a few people doing pins actually. We just
No socks.
no socks though. Still looking for that.
But I mean, the main thing, well, not the main thing, but how we want to do the library. Can we talk about that?
oh yeah, you should talk about that. That's a great
All right,
idea.
sorry, we had a mini sidebar just now.
You were figuring out which level of classification like this is at, like if it's top secret or not.
It's top secret,
Yeah.
but we can reveal. Yeah, so we do have a vision for like when we get a shop. You know, how are we going to combat this online shopping? You know, kind of trend. It's not a trend. It's here to stay. You know, it's convenient. You know, you don't have to drive in the snow or whatever. You know, saves you gas money. So the way we've kind of thought to get people into the store is to have live screen printing. You know, whether we're just printing our product that we're going to put right on the floor, or if you want to come in and print your own stuff or have us print your stuff for you.
That's a good idea.
Or we have a curated rack that is like pre-print. So before we printed on it, you can kind of be that, you know, decision maker, pick the clothes you want to buy, and then say, okay, I want that print here, here, here. But we already do custom printing. We had a couple of people at our show last week buy some stuff off our rack and then be like, can you add a couple prints of yours on it and tell us what they want, what color and where. And so that was really cool to see kind of people kind of visualizing it in their, you know,
That's cool when it's participatory.
Right.
Exactly, yeah. And so that you get people into the store and then there's like a live element to it. So it's not, it's kind of humanizing. It's not just like, oh, how do they do all of this? It's like you get to see that.
The screen printing too is a little more like fun. Like I've seen, there's a
is.
place in San Francisco that has, they print on like upcycled stuff
Yeah.
and some new plain things, but they do the vinyl cutout like on the,
Oh, cool.
on the vinyl cutter, and then they use like the heat press thing.
Yeah.
But the screen printing is way more cool
Yeah.
to watch, and like it's more
Yeah.
of like a fun process, I think.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that would be cool
Totally.
to have that like right out in the front.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we were thinking. And then obviously moving forward, you know, we want to get into collaborating with local artists on designs and stuff. And I know that one of our friends, actually our friend who prints this stuff, is working on a design for us.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that design a little bit?
I should. It's not really mine. Am I
yeah.
allowed?
Yeah, I don't know.
You could be vague.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be vague.
Maybe very vague.
Build
Yeah.
the mystery.
Well, I guess it's what like he's doing like a combo of Not Sorry and like a Simpson thing. Simpsons.
Yeah,
What's the kid name?
Bart Simpson.
Bart. Yeah.
Yeah,
I knew that, but I didn't want to embarrass myself.
yeah.
Can it just be called Kid Simpson?
Kid Simpson.
I kind of love that.
She knew what I was saying. It's okay.
I do. We read each
Simpson
other's
boy.
minds. Yeah. Simpson boy.
So yeah, that should be really cool. He's not done with it yet, but pretty much Bart's like kind of, you know how back in the day, I don't know if they still do it, but you write down like, I will never do this,
Oh, yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
on
blah.
the board.
Yeah, but Not Sorry style. So it's like, yeah,
Oh,
I probably
nice.
like will do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Should be cool when it's
Yeah.
finished.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, that's pretty much what we've got, like, goals 2017, 2018, future goals. That's pretty much what we've got on tap right now.
That's
but
cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, because it's just us right now and we have accessibility to all of the printing and all that stuff, it's kind of going to depend on what's going on too. I think a lot of what happens, like that'll just kind
in
of
the world, in
yeah,
the economy.
yeah, will inspire kind of the stuff we do moving forward. Like for example, our first collection that we're working on right now is a military collection, a Not Sorry Army. And we're asking you to join our army. Because everyone it's a lifestyle brand for people who are unapologetic. So if that's who you are, like join our army. And we've got a few prints like around that. So the Killam print we have kind of not touched since we did the handmade stuff. So we'll be printing that on our military stuff.
Is it
forward.
like camo, like military gear, or how is the military theme working?
Yeah, so we're gonna have some camo for sure. But more just playing with those colors, so like, the army greens and stuff like that. But it'll be more like the designs are military inspired in some way.
Cool.
Or combative in some way.
I mean, this would be cool
Yeah.
on like a
So we have
military
an actually,
jacket.
yeah, right. So we have a camo hoodie we got, probably one that someone used for hunting at one time. And we'll print the Killam in red on the camo. That's just gonna look kind of awesome. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah.
We've got another design that we're working on. The army shirts that, with just that army print.
The gray that just says Army?
Yeah, except it'll say armed instead. And so we'll be playing with that a little bit and printing those too with that font. And then the actual NSA logo, the National Security logo, we're going to be messing with that a little bit as well and making that our own because we just so happen to have the same, initials, right. NSA. So it's a perfect union there. So yeah.
Great for airports.
I thought you were gonna say we have the exact same mission.
How do you know we don't? No, I'm excited. It should be really fun, and we've got so many more ideas. So now it's just kind of like, okay, what ideas can kind of go together to create a collection? So that's kind of where we started with this one.
And you guys do most of the designing
We
yourselves?
do all of it.
Okay, but there's some other people that you're kind of branching out with too?
Exactly, yeah. So the collaborative ones are artists that we're collaborating with will design it. But like anything that's not a collaboration, we design in-house, yeah. And usually Dy-Min is the ideas girl. So she's got all the ideas and then she just like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. And then I kind of like visualize, put that into an physical something. And yeah, and then we kind of just hash it out and I don't know.
How long have you guys been working together? Like, did you know each other before you started the clothing thing? Or is
yeah, but not long.
Yeah, like how long?
We met last March.
Is it? That's it?
Yeah, I think, right?
Well, not this March. It would have been
last March.
So 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not long.
Okay, yeah, that isn't that long.
Not long at all.
You just go, hello, let's
why
start
don't you talk
let's
about
start
how
an
we
intense
met a little
business
bit?
venture together.
Let's do this really, labor-intensive business.
So we met actually at kickboxing.
Yeah.
You guys kickbox? Oh my God.
We're like, okay, let's spar, but let's also be friends.
So that's how it all started. And, started just hanging out.
Hanging out, punching each other in the face.
You kick in the face in kickboxing.
But it's boxing too.
Yeah, we did boxing too.
You can only punch the legs?
You punch the legs,
Punch the legs, kick the face. As they say in
That'd be a really good workout, actually.
Is it like that Thai kickboxing where you like knee people in the
Thai bow and stuff?
Face?
Yeah, actually we did do
Thai
some
bow
of
was
that.
great.
We did do some of the kneeing and stuff.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Did a lot of stuff.
Yeah. No, it was
really
still do
intense,
that?
actually. No.
You still fighting?
No.
Not in that way.
Oh, okay.
Now we do yoga together. We kind of like chill.
But you're like kicking everybody else in the class.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. No, we still got our gloves. We should bust them out soon.
I'm not trying to like
I'm ready.
critique your exercise regimen.
Work out harder.
You guys working out?
Yeah, so we started from there. And like any group of friends, you think, oh yeah, this is an awesome idea, let's do it. And eventually we were just
It's like 3
okay,
in the
sure.
morning. You're like, yeah, we're going to do this together.
Yeah.
But then you actually did.
Yeah, actually did
Yeah.
it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Which was crazy because when it started off, we had the Killam, but kind of like a crop style because we weren't really planning on going to this level with it.
True. Yeah.
At least
Like
I
it
don't
was
think
just
we were.
smaller.
Yeah, we just did a limited run of like soccer pennies, like kid-sized soccer pennies.
What are soccer pennies?
like, you know, when it's like
little scrimmage
at
jerseys.
PE class and it's like, you know, 2 classes are
Oh, it's
playing
like
the
those
ones where
thin
those
little.
Yeah.
thin
Oh,
jersey
yeah.
things they put over with like the, you know, elastic at the bottom. We just got a
I
bunch
just
of
had
those
so
and
many
print them.
flashbacks.
I know, right?
I'm gonna go
Did you
die.
get picked last?
Dodgeball, no. Yeah, so we just got a few of those, and we actually should have been so.
We should have stopped.
We
It was
should have
a
stopped.
hassle.
Yeah, we,
Like-
we had so many signs that were like, nope, you shouldn't do this, because to just get that first like print done, we got swindled out of money. We had like dropped
Yeah.
off our jerseys at a print shop in Ferndale, and this guy had gone through, you know, okay, here's your receipt and blah blah blah, and we're printing this for you. Gave him cash for all of that, and then they just poof, like disappeared.
What are their
Place is
names?
out of business?
Yeah, the place is like gone.
What was the print shop called?
It was called Printing with Progress. Don't go there. Don't go there.
Yeah, we almost didn't get the
We
crops back
almost
either.
didn't even get our clothes back.
How did you get them back if they disappeared?
One of the guys who had just started working there, who also did not get paid for any of the printing he had done, still had a key, so he got us our jerseys back. We never got our money back though. But
He should have picked you up like a couple computers or something.
I know,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, can I take that screen printing machine?
Yeah, right.
So that kind of sucked big time, but I don't know. We didn't let it stop us. We were just like, well, actually, it was you who had gone to they do a fashion conference in October in Detroit every year, a fashion speak, and she had gone and met the local manufacturer we ended up using.
Oh yeah.
And we just had we just went for like a quick convo with them, you know, quick meeting.
No, we went for a tour.
Oh.
I thought we were going for a tour.
What is the tour of?
Yeah,
Like
what?
where they make everything. You know, like when you're manufacturing clothes. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
cool,
okay.
we're gonna like go on a tour. We'll bring some fake sketches. And then like they took us very seriously and we're like, so the dimensions are, and we're just like, oh, we're having like a meeting.
We
Okay,
literally had
okay.
like 10 drawings that we had done like maybe the night before in my like planner.
Wow.
Okay, like really nothing.
Wait, is
And
this the place that you got these jerseys
yes.
made? Oh,
yeah.
cool.
And yeah, I mean, we didn't even really go there to like do anything. Like she said, we just kind of went there to meet them and stuff, and they took it really seriously.
How big of a scale is this place? Is it 1,000 people on sewing machines?
So,
or is it
no, when
machine made?
they had just started when we went.
Oh,
And
okay.
so it was maybe 5 seamstresses.
I don't know.
Not even. It was pretty small. And
Wow.
so we were one of their first clients, and now they're over 100 clients. I mean, that
Oh,
just
cool.
speaks to
Yeah.
the
They
demand
got a
in
bigger space,
Detroit.
too.
Yeah, they just
And it's all
expanded.
custom
All-
like garment
Like
stuff?
I,
Whoa.
we shot video of them literally just like hand making this jersey.
Wow.
What are they called? Or is it a
Oh
secret?
yeah, no, Detroit Sewn. Definitely check them out. They're awesome. Yeah, they've done so many great things for this city. And then the lady who runs that also runs the Detroit Garment Group, which is a nonprofit to kind of bring the designers together. They're really trying to open a garment district in downtown Detroit, which I know they're having a lot of pushback with. Hopefully that goes through, because I think that would just do a lot for, you know, commerce in Detroit. Really, there's not a lot of shopping districts down there
What's
right
the
now.
resistance to garment district?
I don't
Is
know.
it people who are
honestly
already live there, or it's people like people who want to develop that area for something else?
Yeah,
or?
I think they might be getting more money from outside people, you know,
Yeah.
to buy those buildings, and they might not realize the demand for it. They might think maybe it's not sustainable, but it definitely is, because I was so impressed with how many people were at that fashion conference, and just, you know, Detroit Sewn growing that quickly in a matter of a year, and it just speaks to like how many people are really, you know, starting to design and keep their designs, keep their manufacturing in the city. So, yeah, I don't know why they haven't done that, but I know they're talking to Hamtramck about it. So That could be a really cool.
To turn Hamtramck into a garment.
Yeah,
district.
yeah, which would kind of be awesome. They do have the space there.
Maybe if that company keeps growing, they can get that machine that sews in a circle, and then socks would just come out of it, and you'd sew the tips off, and it'd be your sock. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that would be awesome. No, that'd be totally awesome. Yeah, that was like one of the questions we asked too. Is like, do you guys make socks?
Do you have that thing that just shoots out a tube?
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh, tube socks too. I would love tube socks. Just I heard tube. I'm like, tube socks. I love tube socks.
That's the next move, tubular socks.
Tube socks.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, we've been really fortunate. I think we're really resourceful too. We've just been able to use like what we have, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's been a ride, but I don't know. It just makes you realize, like, I don't know if you agree with this, but it's a lot of ups and downs. More ups, but like that's just how business is, but that's how life is too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, wow, this is cool.
I think being adaptive and being resourceful and
Yeah.
like being able to follow those ups and downs is
Totally.
like one of the skills that comes from this place maybe more than others. Like
Totally.
because you are like flying an inch off the ground a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Here, where maybe you're a little more insulated in other places, and I feel like almost Detroit's becoming the if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere place, because it feels a little rougher to me, and it feels a little. Though maybe this is through the lens of me thinking nobody wants to help me. Where it's like,
That's not what I think.
No,
you
it's
really get
like, when
forged
you
in
guys-
hellfire.
Yeah, but like when you guys were talking about like everybody's so supportive and it's good, like you had a really good experience. I feel like that can happen, but
Right.
sometimes it takes 10 years to find
Yeah.
the person
Right.
who wants to help you.
Totally.
So it's cool that you guys found
I know,
some
Yeah.
people who were,
Yeah.
wanted to do the same thing.
We definitely know we're really fortunate because, I mean, I've been involved in the music scene before. Well, I'm still involved in it, but that's been a struggle, because it's like you offer services, but no one really wants to pay for it, So you're kind of just being like an intern for 5-10 years,
Right.
writing stories, doing interviews, and it's like, that's cool, but I need to make a living off this. I love it. It's still a passion, but how am I monetizing this, turning my hobby into something more? So, I mean, I think we've been really lucky for sure, and we realize that, but we've also worked really hard. We both have like full-time jobs, but we also do this outside of, our job, and that's important too. I think a lot of people maybe don't realize, like, no, you have to like work your butt off too.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, 2017, hopefully everyone quits their day job. Everyone does exactly what they
Already
want
did.
all
Actually,
the
got
time.
fired.
Yeah, good for you.
So recently,
That's awesome.
but it worked out because Universe is like, hey, now you've got a pop-up store opening, so
Yeah.
she's gonna run that full time.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's worked out awesome. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
being on the show.
Thank
we
you.
really appreciate
Thank
you
you.
being
Thanks for
here,
having us.
and
Yeah,
we
thanks
wish
for
you
having
the
us.
best of luck in
Thanks.
all your doings. And thank
Appreciate
you, everyone, for watching Detroit Comics.